Hi, I'm Caleb Giddings from Gun Nuts Media, and today we're going to talk about one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to self-defense advice that you find on the internet. The worst advice that you get on the internet whenever a new person becomes interested in the subject of self-defense or the idea of taking their own defense into their own hands, the worst advice that you get on the internet goes like this. Are you ready? Just buy a gun. You should buy a gun. You know what you need? You need a gun. I am here to unequivocally tell you that you do not need a gun for self-defense. Now, before all my pro-gun fans come to Miami and burn my house down, please don't, I want you to understand I am not saying that you shouldn't buy a gun. What I am saying is that you do not need a gun to defend yourself. A gun is only a tool. It is only part of the self-defense program that you should implement into your life. And it's not a tool that is suitable for everyone's needs. Here's a controversial statement. There are plenty of people out there who are legally allowed to own guns, who should be legally allowed to own guns under the Constitution and under the laws that I believe in, that shouldn't own guns. They either lack the mental responsibility or the willingness to use a gun for its intended purpose or any number of other reasons, but there are plenty of people who are legally allowed to own guns, who should be legally allowed to own guns, but should not own guns. So when I say you don't need a gun for self-defense, what am I talking about? Well, I'm so glad you asked. In all seriousness though, what I'm talking about is that self-defense is not the stuff that you buy. It's the choices that you make. It's the life that you choose to live, okay? When you're talking about defending yourself from a violent attack, whether it's in the streets or in your home, it doesn't start with buying a gun. It doesn't even start with buying a can of pepper spray. It starts with opening your mind. It starts with looking at the world around you. It starts with taking your fucking earbuds out, putting your phone in your fucking pocket, and looking at what's going on around you. It starts with learning to identify pre-assault cues from people. It starts with buying better locks. This is one time where it does start with buying something. It starts with buying better locks for your house. It starts with having a plan. These are the things that you need for self-defense. You need a plan. And you need to make that plan right now when you're sitting at home eating Cheetos, watching some idiot yell at you on YouTube. You need to make that plan now, because I guarantee if you're out in the street and somebody tries to accost you, or if your front door is getting kicked in at 2 a.m., you're not going to be able to make up a plan on the fly at 2 in the morning. And if you do, it's probably not going to go very well for you. I, for one, don't want to rely on luck to save my life. So what you need is a plan. All right, that's what you need. How do you make a plan? You make a plan by, again, opening your mind, getting training. Self-defense training doesn't necessarily have to involve a gun. It doesn't even necessarily have to involve martial arts. A lot of it does, because we tend to be object focused, we tend to be tool focused, we tend to be technique focused. One of the best things that you can do is go onto Google right now to help create your plan. Go onto Google, www.google.com. Type in Managing Unknown Contacts, Craig Douglas, okay? Read what's out there from Craig Douglas about managing unknown contacts. What does that even mean, right? Managing unknown contacts, that's how you deal with people in the street. An unknown contact could be a stranger who literally just wants directions to a bus station, or it could be a violent criminal who's sizing you up as a target, but you don't know because you don't know how to manage them. I guarantee you this, if you have a gun that you bought for self-defense and you haven't taken a second of professional firearms instruction beyond your state-required concealed carry class, you're not ready. You're not prepared. You bought a tool and you thought that was the end of your self-defense plan. And you're wrong. With all of the preparedness that you've put into that, with all of the thought and time that you spent Googling what's the best gun for self-defense, what's the best gun for concealed carry, what holster should I get, and you haven't taken a second of training beyond your basic concealed carry class, you're not ready. I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to carry a gun. Follow the laws, carry a gun, but go get training. Be ready. You don't need a gun to defend yourself. You don't need tools to defend yourself, all right? And that's the problem that we have, is we get this tool-focused mindset. I have a gun, so I'm prepared. I have pepper spray, so I'm prepared. I have a knife, so I'm prepared. No, fuck you. You're not prepared, all right? Preparedness is here. This is what you need to defend yourself, all right? You need to sit down on your couch, in your chair, wherever it is that you do your thinking, on the toilet, if that's your deal, and that's where you need to come up with your plan. That's where you need to make your choices. You need to make them when you're calm and you're rational, and then you need to go out and reinforce those choices with training. Let's say that you want to defend yourself. You want to be able to prepare in a violent encounter, but you're uncomfortable with carrying a gun. Great. Learn how to manage unknown contacts. There are plenty of classes that you can do that in. As a matter of fact, Craig Douglas, South Narc, offers classes where you can just take like the first day of one of his classes, which is all about managing unknown contacts. You don't have to do the shooting part. It's not required, all right? Get some training. You want to carry a gun for self-defense? Great. Welcome to the club. Get some training. You don't need a gun for self-defense, all right? It's not a controversial statement, but we have become so tool-focused, especially in enthusiast communities, that everyone thinks that's the be-all and end-all. It's not. It's not even the beginning of your self-defense plan. So the next time somebody tells you that they're concerned for their safety and they want to be able to better defend themselves, don't tell them, just go buy a gun. Be helpful. Give them good resources, access to good training, places online where they can get good information. Here are some of the places that I recommend. Obviously, I've said Craig Douglas's name like 6 times in this video. I'm gonna say it again. Craig Douglas, also known as South Narc. If I could only send a person to one class, and one class only, and that person wanted to carry a gun, I would tell them to take Extreme Close Quarter Concepts with Craig Douglas. If somebody wanted to defend themselves and they didn't want to carry a gun, but maybe they wanted to carry a knife, I would tell them to take Craig Douglas's Edged Weapon Overview. If you want to carry pepper spray, seek out Chuck Haggard. He has an excellent pepper spray course, and a lot of the information that he's put out there is available online. If you want to get better at defending yourself physically, the 2 best martial arts that all of the top pros recommend are American style boxing and jiu-jitsu. There's a million places where you can learn jiu-jitsu here in America now, and fewer places where you can learn American boxing, but they're still out there. Muay Thai is also a good choice. Look into these solutions, but most importantly, prepare your mind. The thing that you need the most to defend yourself isn't a gun, it's not a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and it's not a can of pepper spray. It's having your mind in the right place. It's understanding that there are violent people in the world who seek to do you harm for no other reason than they woke up and it was a Tuesday. You don't need a gun for self-defense. You do need to have your head in the game. I'm Caleb Giddings. Thanks for watching. And remember, until next time, run your gun, not your mouth.